So you wouldn't know a synonym for inconsistent, would you, for my crossword? It wouldn't happen to be WILD? It fits, thank you. What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video where the Minnesota Inconsistencies decided to blow it all up again and decided to lose to the Philadelphia Flyers. Not only that, they scored 4 goals. They scored 4 goals and yet they lost still because we do not know how to defend. So after the Winnipeg game, I asked specifically for consistency. What did I get? A loss to Detroit, a loss to Philadelphia, not even back-to-back. This has been lackluster for front to bottom. How are we still in the playoff, Con? How are we still in the playoff? This has been going on a while. We have never had consistency this season. We can start out winning 5 in a row, 6 in a row. Good, that's good signs of consistency. Then we lost 6 in a row again, and that's when, okay, now we're 500. What the hell was that point of that? How bad is the Pacific and the Central to have us being a part of the wild card? We have been god-awful for the majority of the past 2 months, and yet we're still in the playoff? How? So, this game, I'm not going to talk about goals because, let's face it, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about 7 Philadelphia Flyers goals. Not in a heartbeat that's going to happen. So, what I'm going to talk about is the lack of ability to push people away from the net. Tie up a stick or something that prevents people that is close to the net from scoring. 5 of their goals being dumb plays that ends up in front of the goal. 2 of them I can count were shots. Maybe 3 if you count the Patrick swipe at it. That was a weird one. Dubnyk should have had, but still, they have the majority of the goal is deflections or people in front of the net hitting the puck right after a shot missed the net or Dubnyk made a save. Suter seems lost without Dumba. Spurgeon, I praised him so much for the Winnipeg game. He looked back and now he's regressed completely. I love Spurgeon. That's the reason why he's in my intro. He's one of my favorite players. But he's gotta be stronger. He's gotta be better to get people off the net. If you can't do that, tie up a stick. Tie up JVR's stick at some point. Tie up Wayne Simmons. Somebody do something. They got way too many stupid goals. And when they didn't get a deflection, it's a shot that Dubnyk probably should have had. That or it's a breakaway where Patton completely misplaced it. Do we really miss Dumba that much that we can't defend without him? Really, Dumba? He was not the one I was expecting to be the one brick that would turn the tide on the defense. I know it means we bring in Prosser, who is about as useless as I would be in defense. I counted 1 being on Prosser. That is not a game where the bottom guys necessarily failed us. They didn't do well. But they scored a goal. I actually think our 4th line was our best line. Not a good line, but they were our best line. However, the line that disappointed was Zach Parise's line. Zach Parise, Granlund, Zucker, you were awful today. Simple put, that was an awful performance by them. They didn't generate stuff. They didn't work hard enough. They thought they looked lazy. They thought they looked like they underestimated the Flyers. And this is scary because we had the same thing happen against Detroit. We seem to underestimate the smaller team and then turn up against the Jets and be like, oh, now we want to play. Now we want to show we are Stanley Cup content. You don't win 1 against the Jets and then lose 2 in a row. You just don't. You just don't do that because that way it's a surefire way to go below 500 and that way you won't be going to the postseason at all. And maybe, I said it before and I've added, but then we won a few games, but maybe I can do it again and we win some games and I can be happy. But maybe it's for the better to miss. I hope we don't fire Bruce Boudreau due to this because I don't think this is his fault. I think Bruce Boudreau does what he can with a group of guys who is regressing, unfortunately, due to age. Suter looked good in the start of the season. I think he's looked a lot worse since the season's gone on. Spurgeon, I think maybe it's time to trade you at the deadline. I hate to say it. As I said before, my favorite player in the world. Maybe it's time to move on. Koivu, he's not looked great. Parise, I thought, has looked good as in the season. Actually, really been impressed by Parise. He's been up best player outside Dumba and Dubnik, in my opinion. And that brings me to Stall, which I also think maybe at the deadline it's time to move him. Say, okay, let's take our losses and try and rebuild. Let's try and get a first for him. Let's see what we can get. Coyle, maybe also time to move on from him. Nino Ryder, the same. Like, admit your losses while they still have value. And it's weird to say, but maybe the rebuild is the way to go. We have pieces. We have interesting parts that we can build on. We have Kakkonen in the AHL, so maybe even Dubnik in the off-season would be an idea. And with Kaprizov coming up, we will have pieces to build on. We will have a foundation in the future. I still think the future looks very bright. However, maybe it's time to kind of embrace that future and get ready for it by potentially trading the few assets from a different age, unfortunately, with the Wild. But yeah, I don't know what I think we are going to do. We seem so inconsistent that it's hard to actually figure out where we are at. And it feels eerily like last season, where we came into the postseason like limping, like not even limping, we were crawling into the postseason with like injury, both our legs cut off, and then thrown into the sewers just for good measure. And what did that give us? A stability pick in Philip Johansson, while we could have had Joe Veleno. Not so sure that's a good way to do the franchise. I think that probably is the worst thing we could do. Either we make the playoff and we make it far, or we don't, and then it's better just to go, okay, how many picks can we get? How many good players can we get? How many skilled guys? How many good centers can we get? I love Koivu. I think he's the best defensive center in the league. Stoll, I think, has done well, but it's time to move on, especially with his contract. We have Eriksson Ek, not convinced, and then we have Erik Fair. We need some more center depth, let's be honest. We need that elite center, like you see the Toronto Maple Leafs a few years ago. Without Austin Matthews, they needed that center. They got him. Look how good they are now. We have the wingers. We have the defense. We have the goalies. We just need that glorified center. We need to build that center core back. But yeah, anyways, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and click like, subscribe, and all the rest.